Hi guys, James at RampantLionReviews again for you today with another beer review. For this one we are going to do another kind of homebrew review, and this is one that I picked up at Cornelius Beers and Wines in Edinburgh. This one was brewed by James in the store there. Cornelius Beers and Wines of course is on Easter Road in Edinburgh, and this one should be quite interesting. This is a Citra hopped IPA. It comes in at 5.4% ABV and it's called FCUKed. So yeah, this one was brewed in July this year as a reference to the Brexit vote, and you can see it's got a picture of Theresa Mayhem on it, so should be quite an interesting one for us to have a look at. The Citra hop of course is a really interesting one with lots of different tropical fruits and things like that, and yeah, so we'll crack it open and see how we get on with this one. I'm looking forward to trying this. I always enjoy doing these beers that are not commercial brews. I can't get this guy open actually, but there we are. So you can see a nice little bit of smoky opening on this one, and we'll get it out and into the glass. But I had to compliment, when I was in the shop at Cornelius Beers and Wines, I had to compliment them on the artwork on this beer because it is pretty cracking actually. There's a lot of kind of interesting things coming about, you know, with the Conservative Party. They obviously didn't really plan they didn't have a plan at all when they did this Brexit thing. It was really about their own internal politics, and now, you know, the whole system is just up in the air. Nobody really knows what's going on, most of all the politicians or the people. So as you can see, I'll just bring on the light and let you have a little look at this. This beer is poured a really nice kind of orangey amber colour, as you kind of expect from the IPA. If I put my fingers behind it, you can see there is a degree of transparency to this beer, but it is kind of opaque as well. I can smell some of these nice fruity characters as I'm moving it about. It's got about a half finger of a frothy white head on this one, maybe a little bit creamy actually, but it looks really nice. Some big bubbles sticking towards the side of the glass and quite a few little ones going up towards the bottom of that head there, but looks really nice, exactly as you'd expect from an IPA. So let's give this one a swirl and see how we get on. So yeah, you can get a lot of these nice kind of tropical fruit notes. There's a bit of grapefruit in there, as you'd expect from the Citra hop. Maybe a little bit of passion fruit or something like that, but mainly you're getting this nice kind of these lighter tropical notes that you always get from the Citra hop. So there's a little bit of maybe apricot-y character coming out there. There's a bit maybe sort of watermelon-y, kind of limey notes coming out of this one actually. A bit of kind of green apple ester I would say too. The Citra hop always gives you these really nice kind of lighter tropical fruit notes. So I'd say a bit of apricot-y character in there above the grapefruit. Maybe a bit of passion fruit as well, to be honest with you. But it really does lean more towards those juicy tropical fruits that you can get from the Citra hop. Yeah, it's quite nice. There's a bit of grassy and floral character coming out of it as well, which again is what you expect from the Citra hop. And underneath you can smell a little bit of sort of pale bready malt, maybe a bit of biscuity caramel sweetness actually. But it smells really nice actually. You always get a nice smell from these Citra hop IPAs. But yeah, really nice tropical fruity notes. Grapefruit, passion fruit, a bit of watermelon, some apple esters in there. A little bit of apricot I think maybe too. I'm not sure really, I don't think peaches. It's not quite sharp enough to be peaches, but watermelons, apples. A little bit of sort of limey character I think too coming out of this. But it smells quite interesting. So yeah, if you get the chance to try this, it's a very strictly limited edition. It is mainly a homebrewed beer rather than a commercial one of course. But if you do find yourself in Cornelius in Edinburgh, make sure you have a go of this one. But yeah, let's get stuck into this one just now. So this one is the FCUKed, with a picture of the she-devil herself, Theresa Mayhem, from Cornelius Beers and Wines in Edinburgh, Slangia. That's pretty good. Yeah, it's quite light actually, but there's a lot of nice hoppy character coming out of this one. Yeah, so in the middle of your palate you get this kind of bready character, this sort of pale malt. It blankets the middle of your tongue there. There's a bit of thicker breadiness on top of the lighter pale malts in this one. Maybe there's a bit of biscuity sweetness in the middle of the palate too, but mainly it's a sort of bready, pale malt character that's coming out of this beer. Yeah, so at the sides of the palate I'm getting a lot of nice floral aromatic character, a little bit almost spicy actually, but on the sides of the palate it's really the floral aspects that are coming out of this beer. Around the front curve of the tongue I'm getting a nice lighter grassy aspect to this one. Yeah, the fruity character in this, as you always get with the Citra IPAs, is really nice. I'm getting just a little tiny bit of earthiness in the back corners of the palate there, but there's some really nice smooth grassiness around the front curve of the tongue. But I'm loving this sort of floral aromatic bitterness that's coming out of this one. This is really nicely done actually. Yeah, it's nice. So behind the front curve of the tongue, you'll feel this little oily bubble that I always talk about. That's where you get the fruity aspects of the flavour coming out. There's definitely a bit of grapefruit in there, and it's quite strong grapefruit actually. That one's kind of lingering there on the palate. On top of that, you've got some nice. There's a bit of passion fruit in there, but you are getting some of these lighter tropical fruits that I could pick up in the aroma. One of the things I always find about the Citra hop beers, they do tend to taste a little bit different from what you pick up in the aroma. Yeah, there's some nice juicy aspects to this one. The passion fruit's definitely there. I'm getting a wee bit of apricot in there, maybe some, I'm not really getting the watermelon. There's a little bit of the kind of appley ester that I was picking up I think as well coming out of this one. Those lighter aspects of the beer, maybe a sort of lychee flavour actually coming out of this one as well. I love the juicy lychee flavour, and I can pick up a little bit of that on the front of my tongue when the beer starts to move into the aftertaste. But yeah, it's really nicely done that. As the flavour progresses, it does feel that there's a bit of a richer, almost caramelly note coming out of this one. You can feel that just in the middle of the palate there, but it's more of a kind of, as you get more used to that flavour, it becomes a bit more rich and biscuity. But it's really nicely done, this one. I have to compliment them, to compliment James at Cornelius for this one. It's really good. But in terms of the mouthfeel then, I'd say this guy is light to mid-bodied. It's got a good bit of oily character to it as well. There's a bit of crisp carbonation, and that helps some of the floral aromatic aspects of the hops come out there. There's a bit of sweetness from the malt base, but mainly it's got a little bit of dryness from the kind of biscuity grainy characters in this one. But there's a good bit of hoppy dryness to this one, and some nice juicy fruits as well. I paid £1.80 for this beer, and the thing that I always like to say with these homebrewed beers, or in the homebrew series of reviews that I do, I always put the mainly non-commercial beers into this homebrew category. I always like to say, would I pay that for the beer if it was a commercial one? On the basis of this one, I would pay that. I would be quite happy to pay £1.80 for that. Very, very reasonable for a 330 of this beer. So for those of you watching outside, that's maybe about 25 crowns in Sweden. It's probably about 20 Danish crowns. I think about 25 or so in Norway as well. It's probably about €2, something like that. Maybe in America it's probably around, I would say, maybe $1.75 or something like that. But yeah, I would definitely pay that sort of money for this one. It's really nicely done. So for a commercial beer, this one would be really good. The Citra hop, of course, always makes a really good. It always makes a really nice single hop IPA. So yeah, this one is the Cornelius Beer and Wines FCUKed. Shout out to James again at Cornelius. I'll put the link to them in the description below. But these guys have a really good bottle shop down in Easter Road in Edinburgh, right next to Hibs football stadium actually. And there you can see her, the she-devil herself, Theresa Mayhem. So we'll see what she does over the next few months. But I think probably the prediction on the side of the bottle is pretty good. An untied kingdom, so we'll see what happens over the next little while. We'll pray and hope that Scotland comes out of it for the better. So yeah, we'll see how we get on. But thank you once again for watching my beer reviews. Always cool to hear from you guys that are watching the videos, so do let me know your own thoughts on this beer if you do get to try it in the comment section below. Always interested to hear from you. If you do want me to review your own home brews, as I always say, message me through the Facebook and we will set something up. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this review. Until the next time, slange you just now, and I will catch you soon with more beer reviews. This one is the FCUKed from Cornelius Beer and Wines on Easter Road in Edinburgh. Slange you just now.